This is a podcast miniseries presented by Modular Media. Little Worse Than a Pod, Little Better Than a Cast was performed in front of a pre-recorded studio audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this broadcast of Little Worse Than a Pod, Little Better Than a Cast to bring you Wandavision, Episode 4, as discussed by myself, the Vacuuminator, Boingo Rider, and Buster Core. Let's get right into it. Boingo, what'd you think of this episode?
It was good. It was solid, and it explained minor mysteries that we were curious about, but none of the big ones. So it's just kind of it's an appetizer.
It answered like 2 questions and then asked 8 more.
Some of them were written on a dry board, and some of them were theory videos that many a YouTuber were making.
Hey, okay, Buster, what do you think?
Okay, yeah, I was just about to say, I saw a lot of people in my timeline hating this episode, so I was like, oh god, what did they do? And I watched it, I was like, what are y'all smoking? This is an amazing episode. Like, I guess, like, the
idiots, man, lady.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think people, like, the main criticism I see it is, it's just like a regular Marvel movie, and I think that's the point. Like, it's supposed to be, like, a reality check, and, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of video critiques are weird.
I kind of love this for, like, how it felt like a comfort blanket, like, for just, you've been weirded out by the last 3 episodes, and now here, you get to hold your blankie for an episode, and we're taking it away from you again.
Yeah. I will say, can we talk about the opening scene? It's so good.
Dude, I thought I was done with being traumatized over to Snap after I watched Far From Home, and then this episode gave me a heart attack.
Oh god, it was so intense. Okay, so what happens is, Monica Rambeau, that's her name, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, we can call her Monica now.
Monica, yes, Monica Rambeau. Monica Rambeau, we see her like rematerializing, and I was like, wait, what? And then it's like, it just hit me. I was like, oh wait, that's the dust particles from the snap. She's reforming, and she apparently got snapped in her sleep, which made that scene even more intense because it's like she doesn't know what's going on. She didn't even know she went away. And
is she the first person we've actually seen rematerialize? I can't remember.
I think so, because we didn't see any in Far From Home.
We saw people get reformed in Far From Home, but that was just like a comedic like gag from far away.
Yeah, and it was more of an instant pop in that. This is much. It feels slower.
Yeah, it feels a lot more intense, and it's like the pandemonium. This is like, it's kind of scary, to be honest. It's like,
I mean, in 1 second, a hospital went from probably half capacity to over capacity.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, especially in the hospital setting, and I'm like, okay, I'm not sure how many more scenes we're gonna get like that in Phase 4, but I really hope we get more scenes like that where we see like, oh, what happened when like Hulk snapped the fingers and brought everyone back to life? Like
how many people were in there that got snapped that were in the middle of surgery?
Ooh, shit!
Like, here's the thing. The Russos said the Hulk kind of took into account like planes and stuff and made sure that they were in an appropriate area where they could be safe. But like surgeries, people on escalators that aren't there, he can't account for everything. So some things have to have been fucked up.
Also, like, this scene makes me a little more like, it kind of adds a little qualm to Endgame. I'm surprised nobody materialized inside the Avengers compound in that scene.
Yeah, that's weird. You would think, like, maybe just no one was there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they never really showed that the Avengers compound had a working staff.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah. And there was only a couple. They showed the new Avengers there. They didn't show a ton of working staff.
There was like squads of troops in the background as Widow and Cap were walking to the room where the new Avengers were.
And you think they're going to be in the building while they're off fighting in Wakanda?
I don't know how many people stayed on staff. I'm just saying. Just saying. Anyway.
Yeah, so that was a really excellent way. And then he like cuts in the Marvel Studios credits. And I was like, whoa, what a way to open like episode 4. Like, talk about a banger of an opening.
Mm-hmm.
Also, really, it adds, because Peter Parker in the MCU is kind of the ever optimist, so he can bounce back from being snapped relatively easy. You kind of get that feeling from him. But like, Monica is a working adult who just is found out in the span of a few minutes. You've been gone for 5 years. Your mother died 2 years ago, and now your job is in question. Your life's work's in question. Everything you knew is gone.
You're legally dead.
Yeah. And also, Monica Rambeau woke up with the words that Captain Marvel spoke to her in the movie, Lieutenant Trouble.
Yeah.
Because like the subtitle, I always put subtitles on because I just watch better with subtitles. Like there was like Captain Marvel, like was saying some words. I was like, "Wait, Captain Marvel?" It was like that kind of confused me at first, but I was like, "Oh yeah, it's connections."
Yeah, and as I pointed out via a collage I found on Facebook before we started recording, the fact that she was gone and like her mom was having health problems and Nick was gone totally explains why Carol was so pissed in Endgame.
Yeah, it's like what she like. It was like it wasn't just like, oh, we got to be serious because we're fighting the big bad. It's like you took everything away.
Mm-hmm. Also, this show is progressively adding more and more tension to the moment when Wanda says that to Thanos.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh, it's all Wanda. Oh,
there's so much trauma in that moment now, especially because we find out that 3 weeks later she goes back to work at Sword, sentient weapon,
finally,
we know
observation.
They just come out and show us Sword. I'm so happy about that. I thought we were only going to get a little glimpse of it at the end of the show.
But it is different than the comics because in the comics it's sentient world, not sentient weapon.
I guess I don't know. I was actually just like, oh, finally, that thing we've been talking about in the podcast for 3 weeks, not 2 weeks, 2 weeks, it was 2 weeks. But like that thing we've been talking about, there it is, and it's just there. And no slow build up, just saying welcome to Sword or something. Like just there's Sword.
There it is. Who's the director guy? Is he someone from the comics? Should I know him?
I'm not sure. Let me go check.
Yay!
Oh, speaking of people probably not for the comics, Mr. Magic guy from
No, he's
the
from the comics. Jimmy Woo is from the comics, and I was so happy to see him again.
I am a dummy. I am a big dummy. I thought they just made him for the movie. I'm a dummy. Marvel.
He had a whole team he was leading around the Siege period, I believe.
Oh, I haven't really read the Siege part of the comics, so
that's understandable. But also, cool little detail, when we first see him, he does the card trick Scott Lang taught to him, and that made me happy.
A character progression.
Mm-hmm.
Like actually, yeah, I really liked him in this episode. Like I thought it was just like, he could, and like he was there for the right amount of time in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but like he could overstay his welcome. I was like, no, he didn't overstay his welcome, mainly because he had other great characters to play off, like Kat Dennings. I keep forgetting her name.
Okay, so time for a bit of a confession about me and Marvel.
Right.
I fucking hate Darcy. She is the worst part of the first 2 Thor movies, in my opinion. Every time she was on screen, I briefly considered changing my opinion about beating women.
Oof.
Yeah. However, this show toned her way the fuck down and made her a tolerable character, which made me so happy. I was like, oh god, finally, I don't have to say I hate this character. I can just say I hate her in her early appearances.
Yeah. But I think a lot of that, like, was like the creative team, like, was just not that strong for the first 2 Thors. Also, I also just think they just made her more competent here. She got to do a lot more, like, things. She got to, like,
yeah, she seems like an actual scientist.
Yeah, but here's the thing. She also changed her major because in the Thor movie, she was poli-sci.
Huh.
She changed to astrophysics.
She probably got more serious after her encounters with the extra spatial.
Also, but I assume she didn't get snapped, so she probably had a lot of reconsidering time through the 5 years.
Yeah. Also, I love that at one point she goes, I know it's been a few weird years on this planet. I'm like, honey, it's been a weird decade and a half for you.
Yeah. It's just been a whole decade of what the hell is going on?
Yeah. What else?
Let me scrub through the episode to see like any more cool details.
I mean, what else can we go to? Like, I really like the whole they made the classic TV gimmick contextual. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
like it's like that's what they see. That's what they see. And it's like all those weird cuts. That's what they actually see, you know?
Except there's even more for them, which is interesting.
Yeah. Also, actually someone you see okay, so when they're printing out all the people like this person's cast at this person, someone point this out in a review of this episode I saw. The one I think it was the Agatha character, the neighbor. She doesn't have an ID when everyone else has an ID. Like here, I'll share a screenshot.
Yeah. They also didn't show Dottie on the screen on their board.
Oh, yeah.
But the big thing is the whole reason this gets started is Jimmy Woo calls up Sword and says like, "Hey, I had this thing and I need some like Sword help." And at first they're like rolling their eyes, okay, whatever, it's just a missing persons case. And then they come and it's a full-on Twilight Zone scene with these two sheriffs, deputy guys, talking to Monica and Jimmy and going like, "Yeah, no, we ain't never heard of no Westview. Where are you from? Eastview." While there's a giant sign for Westview and a town right behind them.
Yeah, that was weird. I'm not sure what that's leading to. Like, hey, that could be anything for all we know. It could just be like Westview does it actually exist, or like the mines are being tampered with. Either one could work.
Also, getting back to Jimmy Woo real quick, did you guys notice that his car is parked like he was driving out of the town and it's just past the barrier?
Huh.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I don't get that. What do you mean?
Like it's on the side of the road facing away from the town, on the side of the road he would be on if he had been driving out of town.
Ah.
I've not seen anyone comment on that, and I immediately was like, what the I want to like you, Jimmy, but you're sus. Jimmy, you're sus.
Yeah, there's that.
I'm pretty sure that's just like a simple mistake. I don't think like they revealed that Jimmy Woo
Here's
was
the
like...
thing. This production was not filmed on location. I'm pretty sure this is also filmed on the LED set like Mando is. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. But if it is filmed on that, then that has to be a deliberate choice.
Actually, also here's a screenshot of all the people with the IDs. I don't think that's everyone, but like that the one you see, like Agatha was the name. Yeah,
which
she doesn't have her ID.
Probably leads a little bit more credence to her being Agatha Harkness.
Yeah,
So
that's who I think she is. Ah, okay.
Yeah, Agatha Harkness.
She's Agnes
looks like
within
an
the show.
And Dot's the only other person that they don't have up there. The woman from episode 2.
The pool society lady.
Yeah. But as the deputies go off though, Jimmy Woo and Monica like they talk a little bit, go like, what's the big deal about all this? And he goes like, well, essentially this missing person's not just a missing person. He was in witness protection and nobody's heard from him.
Nobody's heard of him.
Yeah, nobody's heard from him. Nobody's heard of him. He's been wiped from seemingly existence.
Yeah, strange.
And then Monica brings up, everybody seems to not be able to notice this except us. Why? That's important, especially when you remember.
Oh.
What's the thing that connects them?
Were they both flipped?
No. Maybe, but no. They're both associates of the Avengers.
Oh.
Jimmy Woo knows Scott Lang. Monica knows Captain Marvel.
Some kind of
Darcy can perceive this easily, and she's our kind of other main focus. She's connected to Thor.
What about all the other sword agents, though?
They can probably perceive it just because they're in the vicinity of, like, I'm not saying it's a perfect theory, or even if it is a theory, but, like, that probably, like, there's something connecting them. There may be more. Well, who knows?
Yeah. I was just about to say, see, that's it just seemed like a really overly convoluted theory, to be honest. But hey, you know,
I mean, Marvel has worked with less.
Yeah, they have. What was I gonna say?
So, who else noticed that when Monica gets thrown out, she goes through the wall of the living room, the wall of the actual house, a fence, and then the barrier? She went through 4 walls, you guys.
Yep.
What does the 4 mean? Oh, phase 4.
No.
4th wall.
It's a theatrical term. Basically,
I know what 4th wall means. I watched them Kara.
Oh. See, here I was going to talk about the rules of theater and proscenium stage.
Also, another cool thing I found before the recording, somebody mashed up that scene or rather scenes from this episode, with her origin from the comics. So potentially this is her new origin, like residual radiation from going through that barrier.
Like so someone,
Especially when you realize her powers in the comics are light-based. And what is a TV but a projection of light?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, like I could see her doing some fighting in the final episode if those powers are real.
We'll have to wait and see, but
yeah. Also,
I mean, we did get
speaking of finals, can we talk about like the last 10 minutes of this episode? Specifically the part where it's revealed that Vision's just a corpse?
Yeah, I was watching this episode at like 8:30 last night, and after having gotten home from work and before starting on the video, and my parents had just gone to bed, and literally when I got to that scene, I jumped out of my chair and went, Jesus fucking Christ! Because I was just not expecting it. It scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And like 2 minutes later, my mom texts me like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, just watching a thing."
But here's the thing. It reminds me of this version of the Vision.
Oh, the white Vision you mentioned earlier?
Yeah. Hold on. It's coming.
Yeah, I can kind of see that, but like...
It's a reference. It's not directly an adaptation.
How do we get there?
Because here's the thing. That Vision came out after he had died.
Yeah.
So it's the subtraction of color. But you know what I mean? It's like having the first Spider-Man costume kind of look like Ben Reilly's from the comics. It's, hey, this is kind of familiar imagery that we're reusing in this different context.
Yeah.
Also, this made me question even more, just how real are those babies?
Oh yeah, like, yeah. I mean, again, like, I don't think they're lasting like beyond the series unless they do some cyborg robot shenanigans.
But here's the thing: when Wanda's perception is broken, they look normal, while Vision looks like a corpse. So I have to wonder if somehow her powers made real baby people.
It is possible, but there's been a lot of weird shit with those babies, and it was only until like the 2000s when they kind of cleared it up and made reincarnated versions. Those are technically Wanda's babies on the arms of this one dude.
I don't even want to describe this image to our viewers. It's just weird.
That's comics for you, kid.
Yeah, he had like the power to absorb things into his arms and create power and weapons, and like he absorbed the figments of Mephisto's soul that was formed into Wanda's babies, which Mephisto had planned in order to become more whole, and then this dude kind of intercepted it. Comics.
Yeah. Comics, am I right, fellas?
Yeah.
But we do get some explanations for like some of the weird inconsistencies applied to the world of WandaVision, such as the helicopter is actually a drone.
Yeah, which I think we had assumed back in the first episode of this podcast.
Yeah, but like they're confirming it's like this is the things that this is the immediate things that you were curious about. The big mystery still around.
Also, the beekeeper suit has nothing to do with AIM. I'm disappointed.
AIM or
Swarm. Yeah, oh yeah, that was a tease. I was kind of pissed off at that. I was like, really? That's not AIM? Oh,
I mean, it's a hazmat, so it works.
Yeah, it works, but that I just kind of felt like, you tease.
The radio, they explained the radio, which makes total sense.
And I think, again, during that episode of our podcast, you said, oh, that's Jimmy Woo. He's in the IMDb.
Yeah.
I don't really want to IMDb because that would just spoil like half the mysteries to me.
Well, apparently, like there's still some things on like that aren't directly known by a lot of people, like because Paul Bettany has been talking about. I worked with a guy that I've wanted to work with for fucking years, and I've never thought I would get the chance, and I got a chance here, and it's amazing. I loved working with him. So there is a male actor who's later on in this series that Paul Bettany works with extensively. That is probably well seasoned, well loved. So there's going to be something there. Who he's playing?
I think it might be someone who's playing Magneto. I think it might be Magneto.
I don't know how I would like if it's Magneto. Maybe.
But Magneto's dead in this universe, isn't he?
Maybe. Who knows? Because here's the thing: Wanda and Pietro talk about their parents, but Magneto is technically their dad, but he didn't raise them.
Yeah.
He just sired them, essentially. So Magneto could be around, and like those were her adopted parents. If they want to retcon it. So they could have it be Magneto.
Yo, what if it's Michael Douglas coming back as Hank Pym?
Ooh. I would eat that up. Like, I love MCU Hank Pym.
Yeah.
He is a lot less wife beatery. I'm kidding. I know you love Hank Pym.
Hank Pym not a wife man who made some bad choices that he will never live down.
Unless he's in the Ultimate Universe, then he is a wife beater.
When people say the MCU should be like the comics, I always think of, wife beating.
But there is also the running theory that the person he's talking about is playing Mephisto.
Okay, I'm sorry, but like, because I watched Linkara, I always think of Spider-Man when I think of Mephisto.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's fair. That's like his most prominent storyline that people know of at this point in time.
Yeah. But like, real question that I come out of this episode with is, so is this entirely Wanda like Monica says, or is somebody manipulating her? Because that field seems a bit too big for Wanda's britches.
It is, especially when you realize we're only in the 4th episode. Why would they fucking give the twist away just like that?
Isn't there especially supposed to be 7 episodes total?
I think it's 9.
Maybe 8 episodes.
Well, let's roll the dice and find out which one of us is right.
How many episodes?
Yeah, I think like last time I checked the wiki, it was 8 episodes. Oh, dang it, Craig.
Yeah, we still have Garrick.
Yeah, Garrick.
Garrick is better than Craig. That's just facts, y'all.
That's our recording program, folks.
Yeah. Actually, no, he's not a recording program. He's a friend.
Yes, he's a good boy and we like him.
9 episodes.
Okay.
9? Okay, that's
9.
Weird. I mean, the more episodes, the better. Although I kind of hope, like, you know how, like, this week was very, like, here's the key, but behind the curtain, and, like, you know, with the It's All Wanda. I kind of hope we take it easy next episode with, like, more, like, here's some more sitcom parody, you know?
Well, we'll probably get into the 80s.
Do another 2 or 3 episodes of sitcom stuff, and then do the next big twist.
Yeah.
But like,
I know, like, people hate that, but that's what works. The slow burn is what works about this show.
If it's 9 episodes, you don't give the twist away in the 4th one. Yeah. Especially when you realize that when she pushes Monica out of Westview, when she's looking at the hole, she goes like, "Oh God, what did I do? I need to fix this."
Yeah.
So she may not be 100% in control. It may also be like
someone pulling the strings.
Yeah, but also maybe like Avengers Disassembled House of M situation where she has the power, but she is emotionally compromised at that point in time, so someone can push her in a direction. Because here's the thing, House of M wasn't Wanda's idea. That was Pietro's. Yeah, that was Pietro whispering in her ear and go like, "Why don't we just make everyone happy?"
God, really? Pietro's such a dick in the comics.
Yeah.
Pietro's Quicksilver, right? Yeah.
And he was married to Crystal from the Inhumans.
That makes me sound dumb, but I legit, like, with how many, like, alternate universes they are.
Quicksilver's, like, he's a B-list character. Like, he's not major, so it's understandable.
Yeah. Although, like, I'm still interested of who the 2 Quicksilver actors are playing. I still hope they're playing different characters, because I love that when, like, they do that, but, like,
I still love my little idea that they're gonna play adult versions of Billy and Tom.
I really hope that is the case, to be honest.
That'd be great, especially if they keep Billy and Tom around for like a movie or 2.
Yeah.
But there was another little thing that was kind of cool because Darcy's getting set up. They bring in all these people after Monica gets sucked into the void, the bubble, and they're going like, "Okay, we need fucking scientists. Let's get AI because we know Vision's kind of being part of this. We need to get astrophysicists. We need to get all these different people." And Darcy comes in and she's going like, she's trying to get her bearings in her sassy way. And she notices that the bubble, we call it a bubble, it is in the shape of a hexagon.
Oh my God, they're bringing Power Rangers into the MCU.
No,
oh, God.
No more cursed ideas. Like, actually, I was watching a review. Someone brought it up that kind of looks like the Mind Stone, and that Wanda might be trying to recreate the Mind Stone.
It's very possible, especially because all the stones still technically exist. They're just atomized. They're not destroyed.
As usual, everybody must get stoned.
Remember, nobody's ever really gone.
Yeah, but she notices the cosmic background radiation, and she talks to one of the people that's kind of like basically guarding, shadowing her, and she goes like, "There's a lot of cosmic background radiation." And he goes like, "Yeah, but we were told that it was in safe levels." It's like, "Yeah, but there's also a pattern in here. We need to like, can you get me like an oscilloscope, kind of like they get this thing set up?" And she's able to tune it in and get a television signal.
Yep.
Because you know another common name for cosmic background radiation.
Oh.
Television static.
Ah.
Literally, they are trying to wade through the static to get to the TV signal. So they find an old retro TV, hook it up, and now they have sound as well. And it's revealed that Darcy was the person who was taking notes in the first episode. And
also really cool explanation of like who's the person that's watching them. It's like I kind of like how like kind of anticlimactic it is because it's not some evil mastermind. It's people trying to help.
And then we have basically every theory YouTuber's life in the next montage.
Oh yeah, yeah. that was a great montage. I also think MCU is better and better if these relatable montages like Endgame had.
Why hexagonal shape? Is Vision alive?
Why sitcom?
Why sitcom? Just why sitcoms? That's gonna be my Twitter username after I get Dino Fury News. Why sitcoms?
But also, like, there was some like Easter eggs. This goes like, could this be Skrull? Could this be involving the Skrulls? I don't think it's gonna be Skrulls.
Yeah, Skrulls are like too busy doing stuff with Nick Fury. I assume Sam Jackson is gonna be in another movie. I don't know. That's besides the point.
They're doing a Nick Fury show.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Secret Invasion is basically going to be the Nick Fury show.
It's a Nick Fury mini-series.
Same thing.
Yeah. But they try a bunch of different things to get to her to figure things out, and then we get to the last we get to the episode before this one where Monica gets yeeted out of the fantasy world, and like and they're like confused and going like, what the fuck's happening? And then we get the final bit where Monica goes, "It's Wanda. It's all Wanda."
Oh, that's good. I'm surprised that hasn't become a meme yet, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a variation of it's Ohio. It's always been Ohio.
Oh, okay. I'm not sitcom experienced, so
the
Is
astronaut.
that I was gonna ask if that's what that was. That's the original version of that?
Yeah, it was Ohio.
Why?
No idea.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that was WandaVision. Like the story. What else? Like,
I mean, I really like. Again, it's a very like back to basics episode for the MCU, but it's still a really good episode, I'd say. Even if there's not that many like sitcom like that. The sitcom stuff was really hooking me, but now it's just like, oh, here's an actual story in the Marvel universe. So
I think it's interesting how similar Sword or this version of Sword is to the MCU's version of S.H.I.E.L.D. because its whole origin story can be boiled down to the same thing S.H.I.E.L.D.'s origin story can be boiled down to is side character who was friends with the main character of a period piece film made a secret organization to deal with things that started happening in said period piece film.
Yeah.
And her call sign was Photon, which is one of the names of Monica Rambeau.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. Her mom's call was Photon. So she in Monica in the comics has gone by Captain Marvel, Photon, and Spectrum. But it is a lot of little tiny setups and little Easter eggs. Like, I still think that decolored Vision is a reference to the White Vision.
I just think they're teasing White Vision, honestly. I think we might actually see White Vision soon.
We did see some ships and stuff in the background of Sword too. I wonder if those are going to be revealed to be anything.
Well, I mean, Sword in the comics is intergalactic. It's that arm of the world. It's to deal with Skrulls and Kree and Shi'ar and But
I feel like another detail I like how when they start breaking the reality, like the aspect ratio changes and the camera style changes to like in the sitcom world, it changes to like regular filming instead of the sitcom filming, and that was really neat. I like that a lot.
Yep. I mean, This answered some of the questions, but not a ton.
Yeah.
I love
And
how
it set
one of the. Oh, go ahead.
And it just set up the understanding of what the status quo is. Wandavision are in this nightmare realm. People are watching, observing, trying to help as best they can, but they don't know how.
Yeah. It's really just trial and error at the moment.
Dear God, what if we just get Benedict Cumberbatch in a cameo?
I bet we are,
Please.
honestly.
Please.
Like they go like, we are dealing with weird magic bullshit. Can someone call Stephen Strange?
I just finished Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange, so I am so ready to see some more MCU Doctor Strange.
Neat. You know? Again, I just think that... What was I going to say? I forgot. I lost my train of thought. I was going to say that I'm pretty sure we're getting Strange cameo. Like, I'm 100% sure, to be honest. I am very confident that Strange will show up in, like, the last episode and be like, sup, suckers?
And one of y'all brought up Magneto. What's your gauge on Magneto being at all possible in this?
50-50.
I feel like we won't see him until we actually get to X.
Fair. But if you're gonna introduce any one X-Men character before their main movie to kind of start planting those seeds, the only ones I can think you could do are Magneto and Wolverine.
I'd say maybe also just introduce the concept of Sentinels.
Yeah. Oh, you know what did you guys hear that Ryan Reynolds announced what his pre-MCU idea for Deadpool 3 was?
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
What was
it was Deadpool and Wolverine go on a road trip across America.
Oh, it's so
good.
good.
I'm sad now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
That could be Deadpool 4 if the new Wolverine. Who knows?
And somebody said, but Hugh Jackman retired, and he said, yeah, I would have gotten on my hands and knees and begged.
But I mean, I can see it with a new Wolverine. Use Deadpool 3 as the beginning of the MCU Deadpool trilogy. You know? Kind of like what they're doing with Thor. Yeah. They had the first two, and then Taika Waititi basically went no, this is Thor now, and now they're doing a new trilogy based on that version of Thor.
Yeah. And now with the Jane Foster Thor, which I'm actually very excited about because I hear great things about Jane Foster Thor.
I think she's Valkyrie right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jane Foster Thor is a cool idea. I don't like a lot of those comics in actual execution.
Okay. I'm pretty sure the MCU executions will be different though.
Yeah, definitely.
But
yeah, I think I tried reading a trade of those. I was kind of bored.
Mm-hmm. And my problem was there's a couple issues where they bring in a couple villains who have never acted sexist before and make them sexist just so they can have female 4 beat up a couple sexist guys.
That doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Spider-Man has a whole team of female rogues gallery that he fights. It's great.
Yeah, one of them, Boinks probably.
I mean, he did boink Black Cat.
That's what I meant.
No, but there's the current Electro's a woman. There's Miss Stiltman.
Miss Stiltman is a thing?
Yes.
Oh my God! When are they doing that remold in Marvel Legends? Please.
The current Moth is a woman.
That's right.
Also dating Peter Parker's roommate.
Beetle is a woman right now.
That's what I'm talking. Beetle. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh shit! She broke up with Scott Lang. That sucks.
But
comics change every 5 seconds. It's like when you think one thing status quo, and then boom, it changes. The industry is weird.
Because you have 15 different people trying to go I need to make my mark on the status quo because if they ever use this in a movie, I need to get residuals.
Yeah.
At one point, I would like to see somebody make a not a collage, but a diagram of a timeline of every person who has had sex with every other notable character in the Marvel universe and the DC universe too.
Comic Drake might have done that. Might have.
I know he did the Spider-Man's a harem pro tag video. I didn't watch it though.
Yeah, it was there was a Marvel. He did a Marvel relationships video. I haven't seen that too either.
All right. Well, I think we've started to veer off a little bit, which means we've probably said everything we have to say about this episode. So, fellas, let's wrap up. Buster, tell the people who you are and where they can find your stuff.
Hi, I'm the idiot who doesn't know anything about the comics you've been listening to for a good 30 minutes. I just finally finished that Dino Charge Brave pitch video I'm doing, and I'm going to make a video on the Stretch Armstrong Flex Fighters animation that I just recorded that today. It should be up by the time this podcast is out. And yeah, just watch my stuff on the YouTube channel. Also my Wattpad, because I'm writing a story right now.
Truly. Boingo, who are you and where can people find your stuff?
Hey, howdy. My name is Chris Gaston. I do video essays and editorials. I know the comic book shit for all the good it does me in life. Does anybody want to know about Judas Traveler?
No! Nobody wants to know about Judas Traveler.
I do. I want to write new Judas Traveler stories.
That is why you're a bad person.
Does Judas Traveler even have a backstory?
Yes, he's a mutant with the power of delusion.
Encourage it. We're trying to wrap up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But if you want to see more of my shit, you can follow me on YouTube at Boingo Writer. You can follow me on Twitter at Boingo_Writer, at Instagram at Boingo_Writer, and join my Discord server and ask me what I would do with a new Judas Traveler story.
Everybody, I'm Vac. You know the drill. I do this every week. We do this every week. You can find me at youtube.com/thevacumminator. It's spelled THEVACUUMINATOR. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at those same handles, at the Vacuuminator. And yeah, hey, by the time this is out, What If Power Rangers Super Mega Force will probably be out. Probably have a slightly different perception of me as a creator after that. Just saying, go check it out. And hey, check out more stuff from Modular Media, because you're listening to this right now, and it's a Modular Media product. We are on YouTube, youtube.com/Modular Media. Go ahead and subscribe. If you were listening to this on YouTube, give it a like, give it a comment, give it all that good algorithm engaging stuff. Check us out on Spotify. We've got A Little Worse Than a Pod, A Little Better Than a Cast. We've got Analytical Fanboys. We've got Modular Media Wrestling Podcast, or MMWP, and some more stuff on the horizon within the next few months or so. You can also find us on Twitter at The Modular Media, and you can join our subreddit, r/Modular Media. But that's pretty much it. We will see you next week for the 5th episode of WandaVision.
We're over the halfway point, boys and girls.
Oh, we're halfway there.
Whoa, you were a little off key.